To Wager Talk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Dan, you were at the lacrosse games this weekend, so I'm assuming you had a great weekend then.
Oh, it was lovely. Sunday, my nephew and I, PLL hooked us up, so we were sitting, at the 50-yard line. So it was a lovely time. And let's just say, betting games live when you're down on the field, Andy, there's some success to be had there. And that is all that we will say on that one. But happy to be here with you, man. It's going to be a terrific week of shows here. We got NFL preseason. We got NFL futures. Andy and I give you every day on the show. We have great guests like Gianni the Greek, Bill Krackomberger, and Steve Merril coming on here today, giving you winners. But right now, Andy, we give a winner at the top of the show every day. We try to get a winner for you. And tonight we're going to the Association of the Women's Variety. We're laying points with the Valkyries. WagerTalk Today, play of the day. What do we got, Andy?
Yeah, we're fading this Dallas Wings team. I actually made a bet on them to cover 9.5. They didn't cover. They won straight up, but this Wings team is just kind of struggling. The Valkyries, they have won 5 straight, all by more than 5.5. The Valkyries just beat the Wings by 18 a week ago. The Wings have lost their last 4 road games, and just taking a smaller sample size, the last 7 games, the Valkyries number 2 in defense, Wings number 13, Valkyries better in offense. Just all signs point to the Valkyries being the better team here. So not only do I think they win, I think they win by margin. And if you're a ladder player, I don't mind laddering this thing up. There's a chance the Valkyries blow them out. This Dallas Wings team has been losing to the good teams and only being competitive against the bad teams. They're a little bit of a fraudulent record right now. So we're going to take and they've got injuries. So I like the Valkyries pretty big here.
GSV says UC Panda as well. So we're getting some agreement in the chat. Vibes are strong on this Monday, Andy. I think it's going to be a big week here for us, man. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Andy, I say we get right into it. Ace is on standby. We got plenty to get into. Huge week of betting. Gianni the Greek is with us. Yanni.
Good morning.
How are
Yanni's
you?
locked in.
Sorry, Yanni.
I got him mid-sip. That's how you know Yanni's ready to go. I got him. I was like a waiter. I saw him drinking, so I was like, his mouth is full. I'm going to ask him how his meal is. What up?
It's a Monday, baby. It's a Monday. And after a really good weekend, currently 4-1 in NFL preseason. I've stayed very selective. That's what I'm going to do this entire year. No 10, 15, 20 plays. We're going to zero in on the absolute biggest advantages and see how much damage we could absolutely do. So far, so good. Sitting at number 1 in profit. But more importantly, on to week 2. And we haven't seen much adjustment at all. In fact, I have not released a preseason week 2 bet yet, but I have released 2 week 1 NFL bets. That's correct. After we got a week of preseason in the books, saw those week 1 lines sitting there, a lot of opportunity. I've stressed this a lot over the last few weeks. Do not wait until day of. Again, you'll find some value because the public will knock some lines out of whack, but rest assured, these week lines, college football and NFL, have been up for weeks, if not months. And at that point, there's not going to be all that much value. I've already released 1 college football premium for week 1 college football and 2 NFL premiums for week 1 NFL. Now, great weekend in the UFC. Dogs did exactly what we expected. I don't understand why all these math nerds come out of the woodworks and start yelling stuff at me like I don't know what I'm talking about. When we're talking regression or progression towards the mean, exactly what I said. We're not getting this overnight. That's not how things work. There's a lot of factors involved. But what I could promise you is that over the next 1,000 MMA fights in the UFC, we will not get 76% favorites. The only way we can get there is if we slowly but surely start getting a few more dogs than we otherwise would have. And if you remember, coming into this week, we had a 12-2 favorites, 11-1 favorites. And what did I say? We're going to start seeing some more 8-4s, some 10-3s, some 7-5s, where we're going to get a few more dogs. And that's exactly what happened. It's not like we're going to get 11, 12 dogs, guys. That's not what I'm telling you. What I'm saying is we're so far ahead on favorites. If we trust in the law of big numbers, if we trust in markets being efficient, and the sports betting market is one of the more efficient markets, that eventually what we're seeing should reflect the data. And the data tells us that long-term, over 10,000 UFC fights, favorites win at exactly that same rate of about 64, 65%. Dogs win about 24, 25%. I mean, 30, 35%, what have you. And they're sitting at 24, 25%. That's what was happening going into this week. Again, we got a few more dogs that came in, 8 favorites, 4 dogs. But that's not 76%. That's 67%. Starts to bring the average down. If that happens between now and the end of December, just a few more times, then we will get to where we should be. I just don't understand why people just wait to like jump on shit. Relax, relax, relax. Finally, Major League Baseball will be getting the attention today because there's no NFL. And unless there's, NFL or college football, bettors are looking elsewhere. I don't have anything in WNBA. Andy just shared what he has with you guys on the Valkyries. I just saw a lot of two-way movement in the side and the total. I haven't seen any totals yet, Andy, get bet for week 2 NFL. But a couple sides did get bet. Give them to you guys really quickly. 402 Houston plus 2.5. 408 Jacksonville minus 2.5, minus 3. Denver minus 4, 4.5, and 5. 425 Chicago plus 2, and 432 Tennessee minus 1. But as I said, the action is on Major League Baseball today. Here's some of that sharp stuff for you guys. 903 St. Louis minus 105, 110, and the over 8.5. That's game 1. 906 Philadelphia. They juiced them from 175. They kept limit betting it all the way up to minus 220 was the last limit bet I saw in an account. So it's probably sitting at 250 right now. 910 under 11. Dodgers, Colorado. I asterisk that one. I agree with it. 916 Pittsburgh plus 110, 105. 918 under 9.5. Arizona, Boston. I asterisk there. I agree with that also. 918 over 8, 8.5. Atlanta, Minnesota. Agreement, asterisk. And then 921 White Sox plus 150. Early on a Monday morning. It's only 9 a.m. here. I was texting Johnny. He's like, dude, what are you doing up at 5:15? It's 5 a.m. over there in Vegas. Like, what are you doing? And I just don't sleep much, man. And I like to get up really early. So I know it's still only 9 a.m. But as you can see, sharps have already been firing away. And with football around the corner, rest assured, we're just going to see more and more betting action. And I love it.
Yeah, this Broncos line is going to make it to 7. It's already 6.5 at DraftKings. That thing that'll be 7. So yeah, if you want to bet the Broncos, you're almost there. So it's a pretty massive move. Gianni, UFC. Listen, Oral By broke my heart and my bankroll. It was the 3rd biggest upset in UFC history. Closing line. And then, did you watch the fights?
Yeah, I did.
What is going on with Joel Alvarez? What's his deal? His last 2 fights, he's just like, I don't care. It's like he doesn't care. This guy's a killer.
He is a killer. I had Chidi. I had Chidi and Chukwani, and believe it or not, I gave Stolfus to subscribers also at plus 525. And I didn't expect to hit either of those. In fact, I thought it was going to be just like the Robertson bet that I had, where I knew I was getting the best of it, at least line value wise. Now, again, with the Mackenzie Dern and Robertson matchup, I didn't get closing line value, a ton of it, probably none. I don't think. Well, I did. I had plus 200 on Robertson, She probably closed plus 170 or something. So I did okay there. But I wasn't surprised. Like, I didn't expect to get closing line value on Stolfus. I didn't expect to get closing line value on Njokuani, because what we talked about, favorites doing so well that they were going to be juiced. And since bettors have been doing so well betting favorites, why weren't they going to follow through on Saturday with more favorites? They just cashed 8-fighter parlays back-to-back weeks. Why are they going to stop now? So I wasn't worried that I wasn't getting closing line value. I just thought they were a little bit priced too high. And when that's the case, it don't mean you're going to cash a ticket. But if I feel I'm getting a better price than the true implied win probability, I'm going to have to bet it. I was surprised by how Alvarez looked. You would expect him to be ready because he was the dance partner for Makhachev throughout that entire camp. That's why I didn't think he was really at a disadvantage from the late notice trend, because I only gave out a 2% play on Njokuani. And even on the podcasts and the shows that I did, I only probably used like $100, $200 of bankroll on them. Because of that, I didn't expect them to get it done. Like, I'm placing bets because I think the number's wrong, but I'm not an idiot. I don't expect a plus 525 to cash that often. When he did it, yeah, it was a beautiful thing. Now, oral buy, that line just kept climbing. I understood the early money and the movement, why you should be on oral buy, but the bettors that were laying that, adding him in parlays at minus 1,000 made absolutely zero sense to me. Guys, I can't stress this enough. Please, if there's one takeaway from this entire rant, I need you to understand this. I continue to see the exact same mistake over and over and over again by recreational bettors. Okay. And the biggest mistake they make isn't placing parlays, it's placing the wrong parlays. If you're going to parlay, which 99 out of 100 times is going to be a negative EV bet, because we all know when you place a parlay, you have to put all your bets at the exact same time, at the exact same property, and almost never in the history of sports are you going to get the absolute best line for each of your bets at the same exact minute at the same property. That's rare to do. So just from that argument, more times than not, parlays are going to be negative EV, coupled with, if finals results aren't correlated, where's the connection? Why parlay it? But that's not my argument. Here's my argument. What they do is they find comfort in favorites, meaning they tie up 5, 6, 7 fighter parlays with favorites that pay shit. Adding a minus 1,000 to your parlay does nothing for it. All it does is add risk with no return on investment. Meaning, if you have a 6-fighter parlay and you add that minus 1,000, it's not going to increase your return by much. Instead, that one fight has the probability, the opportunity of destroying your whole ticket. Instead, let me throw this out at you. Take an opportunity and maybe parlay a dog or two, because you don't need 7 of them. You hit a nice 2-fighter parlay with both dogs. You hit a 3-team parlay on Sunday NFL, Saturday college football with 3 dogs. It pays really well. You don't need to put minus 900s and 6 of them and go in with the square mentality of they can't lose, they can't lose, they can't lose. That's the biggest mistake I see recreational bettors make. When they're behind or they're chasing or they're losing, they get in a panic and they look for certainty. And for whatever reason, they find certainty in chalky favorites and they parlay them. Instead, just look at that card on Saturday. Just put any 2 of those. And I'm not telling you like you're going to get them all the time. Like it's going to happen every week. But what I'm saying is, if you parlay, 3 minus 400 favorites, what's it going to pay you? But parlay just 2 plus 150 favorites for $100, and all of a sudden it's going to pay you 5-1, over 5-1 by 2 plus 150s. I'm not telling you to go get plus 3,000s or plus 700s. just plus 150s. The break even is 40%. So the market's thinking 60-40 between team A or team B. Add 2 plus 150 parlays and you're getting 150 to your parlay and you're getting more than 5-1. That's the key that I continue to see the mistake. I continue to see recreational bettors make. Just put 3 plus 150 3 plus 150s pays you 15-1. 15-1 for 3 plus 150s. And instead you have guys out there looking for minus 900s that aren't going to lose, and they have to hit 13 of them just to get 4-1 on a parlay. It doesn't make sense to me, Andy. It don't make sense.
I listen, I openly parlay things. I never do more than 2 legs though.
Smart.
I haven't done a 7-legger in a while. Might have to roll the dice this weekend. Let's go back to my roots.
I do every weekend. I tie them all
really?
up. If I put out 5 plays, I'm going to put them in a parlay. 8 plays, going to put them in a parlay in case I do catch lightning in a bottle and get lucky. But I know going in, it's my lottery ticket. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah, I've got a tennis play that's up right now. It's a parlay. Gianni, do you when we're in NFL preseason mode, but there's not NFL preseason on the day, are the markets going to be more attentive to these MLB lines? Like, are these lines going to be sharper, or are they going to be a little bit more square when there's no NFL preseason?
No NFL preseason, you're going to get more square because those bettors are still in action. Like they're back, and schools started. People are back into their routine. So these guys, the recreational bettors, because it's not like back in the day where recreational bettor just maybe bet football. Now they have their 18 sports books in their hands. You don't have to go to Vegas. You don't have to know a bookie. You guys just have your accounts in your hands, and that temptation is hard to overcome. So days like this is exactly where you'll see more public money on Major League Baseball. And look at it. Look at those favorites. Look at the Dodgers. Look at the Phillies. Like how quickly they jack those up. From minus 210s to 240s, 250s, no problems at all. So I do think it's that kind of day where when you're not have football on the board, you're going to see some lines more aimed towards public bettors for sure. Great question. Because it's not like they're waiting till Saturday. They're not.
Blocked wants to know, his book now allows him to have open-ended parlays and teasers. How can I use that to my advantage? I don't have the ability to do that. So Gianni, do you have experience with this?
Yeah, I use open ends all the time. And for teasers, it's awesome because a lot of times there's not that second leg available. And you're forced to put a negative EV teaser when you can put a positive EV teaser in by just teasing one side. That one strongest side that you get down through those key numbers of 3 and 7, whether you're teasing down or teasing up. I've explained that in multiple videos. I won't go long here, but I do that when the board isn't offering me that second leg. Like if I want to use the teaser on a Monday Night Football, on Thursday Night Football, on Sunday Night Football, I'm not going to tease the total. We know that's a bad bet. So I need something to tease it with. Well, those lines are up for next week, but I don't know if it's going to be in that teaser range come kickoff, come Sunday. So rather than guess and lock in now, let me open-end it. I just put one side of my teaser, and next week I'll close it. I love those bets. I've made so much money with those. And I do it the same with the parlay. When I love a side a lot and I do want to increase my ROI, what I'll do is, especially if they're juiced, if it's a minus 400 or something, 300, I'll put a smaller straight bet. Let's say I want to put a 4% play. I'll only make it a 2% straight bet, and then I'll open and parlay with it as well for another 2%. Now I have to fill that in, and I'm going to keep it there. I'm going to wait until the day comes where I have a strong side again that may be a little juiced, and now I could minimize my risk by straight betting it for less because I could add it into that open-end parlay that's been sitting there waiting for an opportunity just like that. In fact, as I speak right now, no bullshit, I probably have a dozen open-enders sitting in different accounts right now that I had opened at different times, whether it was with baseball, with MMA, with soccer. I still probably have World Cup open-ended from back in the World Cup. But I wait for good spots to close them. And you'll do really well, but just be patient. Don't close it quickly. Take your time. That's it. Best advice I can give you.
You have open parlays like Belgium.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, damn, that's from
great.
June.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, Gianni, what do you have up for everyone on this Monday?
Steam sheets out. I wanted to make sure I had one out on Monday because Tuesday I'll be at Contender Series all day. So I do not put one out because I can't continue to update it and have it be valuable to you guys. But I have it up today. It'll have all the Major League Baseball. It'll have the look aheads for week 2 preseason football. Anything else that's on there. Any MMA that comes in, any college football, everything, WNBA, all that stuff. I also have my NFL and college football season win total packages and Super Bowl and national championship futures. Otherwise, it's day by day. We've been grinding and crushing of late. Let's just keep going. Told you these next 4 months are going to be our strongest months. Don't, what's it called? Don't take my word for it. Judge me for it when December 31st rolls around. I feel really good about this football season.
All right. Gianni the Greek joining us on Monday. Thank you very much, Gianni. Have a good Monday. See you. Have fun at Contender Series tomorrow. So, Dan, did you see Tommy John passed away? He was 83. I think you're muted.
Sorry about that. You mean the Tommy John surgery guy?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like,
I did not see that.
It's just it's an odd legacy. Like,
yeah,
your name is synonymous with, like, whenever you mention Tommy John.
No one ever wants to hear your name. Like, no one ever wants to hear your name.
But you're still famous.
Exactly.
So tough one for Tommy John. Shout out to Tommy John. Elbows everywhere.
R.I.P.
Rejoice. So Breece Hall went down untouched at practice. Head coach says just a pulled groin muscle, no big deal. I don't know. My starting running back goes down untouched at
pulling
practice.
His groin.
I kind of feel like it might be a little bit of a big deal. Jeremiah Love for the Cardinals has a high ankle sprain. He's done for
tough.
the preseason. That sucks.
Well, a high ankle sprain, that's as far as where your sprain can be on your ankle, that is, the worst location it can be. A high ankle, now you probably don't see him until at least week 3 of the NFL regular season. And there's not much to be excited about if you're a Cardinals fan, other than having the guy who looks like Adrian Peterson when he runs in your backfield. And now he has a high ankle sprain to start the year. That's tough.
That's tough. Yeah, it really is tough. So we're going to break down the prop today. Several of you in the chat are going to like this. We're going to break down Drake May's passing yards at the end of the show. What do we like? 3,799.5. Big number. We'll break that down.
Get your I hate Dan comments ready now, Titan CT. Get them ready now.
Shout out to the Cardinals for running their starting running back 14 times in the preseason game.
Cardinals are going to cardinal.
It's the same every year with these teams, isn't it? Like, there's just a lot of things you just don't have to overthink. It's just like, we know this team's going to be bad and this team's going to do something stupid. And so why would I have my fantasy draft? Because it was the one day where most of us could get together in person. That's why. That's the only reason. Look at we're kind of spread out. So on that particular day, we got a lot of people that were there in person. That's all.
And Andy, sometimes it works out. You weren't the one who took Jeremiah Love in the draft, so
I stayed away. I said that. I was like, I just want to make sure that you guys understand. Some of us are going to draft guys that get hurt. One of us probably is going to draft a guy that we lose for the year. So, yeah. We have to ask Bill. Let's bring in Bill.
Yeah.
Bill, have you seen the story that has been circulating on social media? The guy who eats Costco samples for all of his meals. He just goes to Costco and eats samples. And when they interviewed him about it, he said so he can have more money for gambling.
Yeah, you don't follow my Twitter. That's all right. I'll give you a pass. The last tweet I put up, which was 18 hours ago, was exactly it was got 34,000 views so far.
So you saw
said,
it.
Yeah, it's getting tough out there for gamblers, and then the hashtag "so you want to be a gambler," which was an old show in the '80s with a con man that would try to teach you the different systems in blackjack, baccarat, roulette. Yeah, so that was his tagline. So I stole it from him. I was just, so you want to be a gambler, but yeah. So I don't know if this is a joke or not, but there are very sick people out there. So if it's real, then people are very sick. We're in an area now that I wasn't trying to make fun of them, because there is a mental illness is a very bad thing, and there is everyone that needs to talk to a shrink, a psychiatrist, a psychologist, and obviously these people that wait in line and do crazy things like that and live out of their car. Now, I don't say that people could, of course, sample the Costco and Sam's Clubs. They have little sample things there. I'm not calling them maniacs. I'm calling people that this guy's saying he wants to live in his car because he could just eat at Costco and he could just live in his car and eat there. Once in a while, go for a hot dog and a soda. It's $1.50 combo. I think he was looking for laughs, but there's a big chance he was being serious too. I've been at Costco, and I see. First of all, I'm a little bit of a germ phobe, so some of those little heat up machines and stuff, I wouldn't really trust a lot of those things. But there's people that are so sick they wait for anything free. Though you have to understand, you go to a casino and they give away a steak knife. It cost them 88 cents, and they buy them in bulk. It's probably worth about $4, $6, and people wait in line for the steak knife, but yet they'll go and gamble and lose 100 on machines and say, "Oh, I have to show activity today. They gave me that 88-cent steak knife." Like, if the casino gives something away free, people will go and stand in line for it. They don't even comprehend the value of that compared to the EV or the negative EV they're going to lose. But going back to the Costco guys and that guy there, and just seeing this guy say he's saving money and trying to keep all his money for gambling, and he's eating the Costco food and he plans to live out of his car, and he goes in and out. And there are people in Costco, I've seen them, that go up 2, 3, 4 times, and they wait for the toaster to get done so that people can give out their thing, and it's just I think it's a lot of waste of time. Now, granted, if you see something that they have there that you wanted to sample, I wish I wouldn't have to buy such a big box of that. I wish I could just taste a little bit. Well, there you go. I have no problem with that at all. But there are people that just take so many things and don't even want them just because they're free. So I think this guy might have been joking. Maybe I shouldn't even have retweeted it, thinking about it more. But people are very sick. Gambling is out of control for a lot of people, and people have to be in constant action, and they have to find ways to to be in action. I talked about it on the show last week that you wouldn't believe the local environment out here in Las Vegas, and I'm sure in a lot of local casinos all over the United States. There is an element of people when they need money. This is unbelievable. When they need money, they need to make money. They say, "Well, let me go try it in the casino." So you think about that. You have a little bit of money. You're trying to pay a bill, your rent, your mortgage, maybe just an electric bill, a grocery bill, whatever it may be. Yeah, let me see if I can make a little money with this so I can have more to pay more bills. That is what if you didn't allow people to go in the casino that had that mentality, I have to make a score to get something or do something, I got to make some money, you might as well put a lock on the local casino's doors, because that's how bad the local casino economy is. And people are losing money that they shouldn't lose. Look at the beginning of every month when people get their check. Look at how busy the casino is. People playing Keno, playing different machines. They're shaking, they're smoking. It's negative energy. Just go around and look. They're total victims. I feel bad for them. And guess what? I'll be the first one to tell you, I did that 35 years ago. I was that person. I was the guy that would, try to go down and make a score in Atlantic City, and then you go drive up, 100 miles on the Jersey Turnpike to North Jersey in New York, and the whole that's the only option we had at the time. By the way, was Atlantic City. That was it. There was no other casinos except for Vegas. So now you would drive up, and the whole way back you would think, that's a nice score. Oh, great, I could do this and do that. Now when you get home and you go to bed, now you can't even sleep because you want to go back and you say, oh, that was easy. I got to do that again. It really is. It's a sickness that happens a lot. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. And I seen that video, and I had to retweet it because I thought it was pretty funny. Guys, what'd you think about it? What'd you think about these? Did you think it was real? I mean, I thought it was real. I did.
Here, you
at
can go
first.
ahead, Andy.
Because I'm sick in the head, I thought, I wonder if I could do that because there's a Costco. There's a Costco about 15 minutes, and I was like, I wonder if I should try it for 3 days. I wonder.
Oh,
I wonder
okay.
if I could live off of because everything's about me. So whenever I see a story, I always think, well, how can I benefit for how does this affect
Yeah.
me? Because I'm selfish and an absolute prick. Dan, what did you think?
Oh, wow.
I didn't see it until you guys brought it up, but then I pulled it up. I mean, it makes perfect sense. I just think of we go to our local Costco here as well. We stock up, I like buying stuff in bulk, filling up the deep freezer, stuff like that. But it truly is like around those sample carts, man, you got to keep your wits about you, because people are serious about getting up and getting those samples. And I was at a sporting event this weekend, Bill, and one thing when you said it was like the alarm was going off in my head when you said people just love free shit.
They do.
If there is, it could be the most boring sporting event. It could be, just a dozen people there. The second the T-shirt cannon comes out,
Yeah,
or the T-shirt toss,
they're shooting
people
them up.
lose their fucking mind.
They
dude.
do. They'll knock you over. They'll knock little
insane.
kids. They'll tumble over little kids. I mean, sick. Yeah.
It's free stuff to people. It truly devolves. People turn into animals when you see free stuff. But Bill, we could talk about this kind of stuff all day long. Also want to bring some focus onto what was a great weekend for you, man. A couple bad beats in the NFL, but you still grabbed some client, some profit for clients, and you go up over 10 units last week for folks. So let's just recap a little bit. NFL preseason week 1, we have a free prop coming. We have a couple other things to touch on, but let's just recap what happened over the weekend and the week for you, Bill.
It's funny you say what you said. So I hope I can find my assistant said something to me. Okay. No, that wasn't it. Damn it. Anyway, he said something like, like the winners are winning easy and the losers just last second lost or couldn't close. You lost by, you win by a lot, lose by a little. And I said to him, I can't find it now, but I said, well, that's what's supposed to happen. We're supposed to be in everything. I mean, but we had some big wins, and then our losses. Listen, I'm not one to complain too often about bad beats. I know the Bengals, we had -6, and like the end of the game, they were going in something like but we had like teams like the Steelers and Bills. I think we had some big wins, some easy wins. Broncos, we had some really easy wins, and the Jets. He was complaining. Oh, the Jets. Oh yeah, the Jets was bad. The Jets was so bad. They were winning 10-0. We're getting 1.5. By the way, that line went to -6 out here in Vegas, -6, even -20 here. And I've had multiple people ask me questions on that game. They said, Bill, this game moves so much. Should we buy back? Should we buy back? And I didn't buy back anything. I mean, but when you have when you give out something that moves, and these clients know that belong to WagerTalk, you guys all got this move. It lost, by the way, but they're winning 10-0. Up, taking 1.5. Yes, there were sixes everywhere until about 15 minutes before the game. There was some buyback, close 5.5. So let's just call it a 7-point move. It was more, but let's call it a 7-point move. So when you have a 7-point move in preseason, when you have these totals that are low, 36.5, 37, they're very low totals, which means points are going to be at a premium. Should you buy back? And the answer I gave to the two people that asked me at WagerTalk, two people asked me, I said, listen, if you want to buy back 50% or something like that, but have more on the bad side, the value side. And if you're going to buy back, make sure you have multiple outs. Don't just have one out that you're going to buy back at, because that means you're not getting the best line. I mean, you might by accident because they have it, but if you have multiple outs, sure, you want to buy back 50%. It's preseason. I'm not a hedge guy. Because you're making that second bet, it's negative EV. However, situationally, when you have a move like this, and by the way, a lot of my games here moved 2 and 3 points. That is probably still, if you want to buy back, I don't know, 25 to 50%. I'm not going to, by the way. I'm not buying back. But if you want to buy back, I have no problem with that because of the low totals, the points at a premium. It's preseason football. Almost anything can happen. We're making our bets off information from obviously I'm not getting these line moves because everyone's betting them. I'm getting these line moves because of information and maybe a little bit, but you're not going to get 7 points off of just people betting it. This is off of the press conferences, multiple ones. I've seen a couple last week that actually helped me out with the Jet game. I actually laid 2.5 on the Jet game again. I took a 1.5, gave it out to clients at 1.5. I even said pick them is fine. Then when it was 2.5, I bet it again. I seen MGM had 2.5. I bet it there. So it's based on press conferences and a second press conference there about how many the starters, and then also we're going by social media. We're going by the beat writer. There's multiple beat writers, but the beat writer there was following that team. We read that for close to 2 weeks about that. So in camp. So listen, yeah, we had a very good week. I think we're 8-4 altogether, 4-3, I think, in preseason. But I've been saying it all season, guys. You know this. I said, get on with it. Now, let me just tell you something. Weeks 2 and 3 have always been the better weeks. Even last year, I think we won 11 units in weeks 2 and 3. Year before that, I won 14 units for preseason. I think 10 units was week 2 and 3. So preseason, week 2 and 3, much more information out there. Again, you have to have your notifications on. There's no other way to say it. You want to get the best of the line, we're going to send it out to you. You have only a few minutes to get that bet in at that line. I'll even send it out to the WagerTalk guys and say, hey, this line is, +1 or plus whatever it is. And I'll say, listen, take it up to this line. So I know it's going to go through it and that you're still going to have closing line value at the end. So you want to have your notifications on, your emails. And that's something that's very important with Bill Krackomberger's plays. You're getting some of the sharpest syndicate. And I mean, when I say syndicate, I mean sports betting syndicate plays that are out there in the market. I've told you guys already, you should come on for the season. Thank you for we had a bunch of guys sign up for the season in the past 2 weeks. Get all the preseason, get all the NFL player props, which are starting up, of course, week 1 and week 2. We're going to have player props in the NFL. So look forward to that. It's so important to me, player props. And I'm a guy that bets my own stuff, of course, that I'm actually doing some traveling. And I'm going to be doing some traveling just because someone told me you can get down X amount at a certain place. So I'm going to be doing some traveling, and we're going to see if they're going to take these size bets that I'd like to get down on an
That's
NFL
Bill,
player
man.
props.
I love you're willing to travel just to get
I'm
the That's a true bettor right there.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
and this is a guy who bets his own stuff that you can get WT.buzz/Crackman. Hey, we're going to give him a free player prop. You mentioned him in just a second here, but I want the cost of the free player prop, folks, is going to be hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And why is that? Because on this channel, WagerTalk TV YouTube channel, we do post Crack Show Wisecracks. And we had a bonus episode that was posted this past week. And a clip from that's already gone viral because you were talking about Dave Portnoy's pizza reviews. Dave Portnoy actually retweeted the video.
Yeah,
he shared the video because it was great stuff that you did. But guys, if you like picks, we do it here on the channel. If you like just great informational shows, things you can learn about the industry. Shows like Wisecracks, we also do at the channel. So you never miss it. You hit that subscribe button, you're going to get it to your inbox. Check it out wherever podcasts are as well. But you want it on the YouTube channel so you can see the video, see these guys' faces as they're telling some of these stories. I mentioned it last week, Bill. It's a terrific show you do. Keep up the great work.
Thank
we
you.
love having it here. So hit that subscribe button and like, folks, and then he'll give you a player prop. But go ahead, Bill.
Hit that subscribe and like. And you know, now that you mentioned that, I would have forgot. So last week I did 2 episodes of Wisecracks. I did a bonus episode with my buddy Al Scalliott, who owns Dom DeMarco's here in Las Vegas, a very good pizza place. And Al, of course, had Portnoy came out and gave him this highest rating in Las Vegas out of the 6 or 7 pizza places he went to. And Portnoy actually seen the clip, and he put it back out on IG and his socials. So that'll be a guest I would try to get. I would probably get him. I think he would come on with me if he's out in Vegas here, Portnoy. But so not only did I bring on Al Scalliott to talk about some of the things back home, and I'll always consider back home, back east. They're from outside of Philadelphia, and Hazleton, Pennsylvania is where Albert's from. His family very affluent back there. Hazleton, Pittston, Scranton, that whole area there. Albert's got a lot of ties to Philadelphia, and he's had restaurants and businesses all over. But I also interviewed George Martirano on that show. George's father was, Long John Martirano, Philadelphia mafia guy, and he was in jail for a long time. He got out and had some problems there with a couple of the guys still, and they he's actually murdered on the street. So. But yeah, so he went away. George went away 32 years himself, like it's nothing. 32 years, 32 years, and he always has some great stories, George. So I did a separate episode of Wisecracks with them, and then of course my other episode, both shot at Circa, downtown Las Vegas, right in the heart of Circa Sportsbook. Really good. Watch those shows because we talk about something. Me and John Orlando, Tony Orlando's son. We talk about some great things in the sports world, sports betting, gambling. We break balls. It's knock around guys, joking around. It's a fun show. And when you have like George on, it's a serious show. There's no breaking balls on that show. But anyway, a couple of them there. We're going to have KIV and Cracks probably going to start back up with Kelly in Vegas. I shouldn't say probably. We're going to start back up in football season. Going to have that. And we're actually debating bringing Alan Boston back for football season, even though his forte is college basketball. But we talk everything with Alan Boston, so why not bring him back football season? And not only that, Alan Boston, when we both worked for Billy Walters together, Alan was doing college football for Billy. So it could, draw some parallels to that. So yeah, so let's give you guys a WNBA. By the way, WNBA has been on fire. WNBA props all season long. So we have, we went 4-1 last week, I think, on our props. Let's go tonight. Golden State, and Veronica. That's what she plays for. Veronica Burton. Veronica Burton. She is under 13.5 points. She's under in this last 4. Her last 4 games goes against Dallas, who does a good job shutting down the point guards. I expect this game to be low scoring too. Veronica Burton under 13.5 points tonight. There's a free one for you guys, and I wanted to make sure the line was still there. It's amazing. I'll put these up. I write my props in the morning, so I send them out early. Try to get them out really early, and sometimes they do move. But I want to tell you, we have such a good. My assistant's so good. He gives out a prop. He checks all the lines. He doesn't just give out one place. And you have to give out an obtainable line. It's bullshit when people say, oh, you can bet this at, DraftKings. Oh, you can bet this at Hard Rock. How about if I don't live in a Hard Rock destination? How about if I don't live in a DraftKings? So we get DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM, Caesars. I want to make sure I have the sites that are up there and are in most jurisdictions. And I see here 13.5 minus a quarter is still available. So there you guys go. You have a free prop there. We've been killing the props and look forward to you guys. Again, come on for the season package. Like I said, I've been telling you guys this every week. I'm like a broken record. It's a long-term game. Absolutely. But you're going to have the best of it when you have Bill Krackomberger's picks. So and we look forward to a real good season, like I have every football season with these player props, like I have every season with this preseason football. So good luck, everyone.
WT.buzz/Crackman is where you can find it. Big thanks to Bill Krackomberger. And folks, he mentioned he's got the WNBA prop tonight. You want WNBA props, you want his NFL preseason, you want NFL action through December. You can grab the rest of the year, $7.99. No code needed. You can check that out over at Bill's page, WT.buzz/Crackman. Get every play, every sport through the rest of the year. Insane deal that's going away soon.
We got a tennis doubles play that is up. I've got a $5 cricket play that's loaded. That'll go live a little bit later today. And we'll have $5. We'll do another contender series play, and we're probably going to have a preseason play. So probably tonight there's going to be 3 $5 Tuesday plays to get up and locked in. So the tennis play is a doubles parlay. That's this afternoon. So it's live now. Probably starts in an hour and a half ish. So good slate of tennis. This is a good tournament over in Cincinnati. Yeah. It's one of the bigger ones. I have to bring this up. All right. So the preseason rankings for college football have just come out. Number 1, Ohio State. Number 2, Oregon. 3, Georgia. 4, Notre Dame. 5, Texas. 6, Indiana. 7, Miami. 8, Texas A&M. 9, Ole Miss. 10, Oklahoma. 40 votes for Ohio State, number 1, 14 for Oregon, 6 for Notre Dame, 8 for Indiana. Only 8 people got it right. This is, listen. Yes, I went to Indiana, but this is bullshit. How can the defending champs not be number 1?
I mean, they graduated their starting quarterback.
It should be, it's a respect thing. Whoever won the championship should be ranked number 1 for the first week.
And he's disrespected, folks.
It's their title. Only 8 people with real integrity. Only 8 people who have respect for the game, who have
and the Indiana football fan version is one of my favorite versions.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, I went from I hadn't watched a second of their games to now I'm fighting for them.
So now you're like, 1. I'm disrespected, damn it.
Listen, in any sport, I don't mean just this one, but if your team wins the championship to start the next year, you should just be number 1. I don't care if you graduated everybody. Yeah. You deserve it.
RJ does make a point too. Preseason polls are kind of stupid. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. They're laughable. They're laughable. And this one is even more laughable to not have the defending champ as number 1. It should just be Seth, how do you know we didn't replace him with somebody better? You don't know that.
Question. Fair question.
What if we upgraded? What if we're better?
Yeah.
So anyway, all right, let's bring in Steve. Steve, you're a man of integrity. You're a man with morals.
I was going to say the same thing.
You put Indiana number 1 overall, Steve?
So lots of things to dissect there. I was going to say, first of all, I thought the same thing, Dan. I was like, and Andy said it right away. I was like, Andy probably didn't care at all when he was an undergrad there at Indiana football.
Take the under.
And then, boy, did that bandwagon get a V8 engine fast.
Well, so when I was there, I'll never forget. I believe it was my senior year. It was the year Ohio State beat Miami in the national championship game, one of the best games you'll ever see. Well, that year, Indiana decided to do their homecoming against Ohio State, the number 1 team in the nation. And man, they hyped us up all week. It was like, we got something special for these guys. These guys don't know what they're walking into. Like we're going to kill. So they got the whole school pumped up. The stadium was full and it was drizzling rain and it was cold and we were all hyped up, and they took the opening kickoff, ran it right down our throats. And I think they scored on the second play of the game. And I think we were down 28-4, 28-3 at halftime or something. It was everyone left and we were like, they got us again. They got us again. And no, Indiana's just been a laughing stock since then. So, but they should be number 1. They won. So
no, Andy, it's funny. I was thinking the same thing last week when I started looking at some numbers and whatnot. That boy, people, I wouldn't want to bet against Cignetti. What he's done there is incredible. He turned James Madison around fast, made them a national contender, and then he goes to Indiana within 2 years, a team that I think had like 7 winning seasons over the last 100 years, maybe 1 bowl win over the last 80 years, and all of a sudden they have more like wins and bowl wins in the last 2 years than they'd had like in 7 decades. And he's the real deal. I've talked to players that have played for him. They said he's the most efficient coach ever. He has extremely short, precise practices. He delegates well. And yeah, like Dan said, they lost a lot of talent, but in modern college football, does it matter? I mean, it's not like he came into Indiana with a lot of talent, and 2 years later, he's going undefeated. So tough team to bet against, and that kind of jumped out at me as well, all seriousness.
Yeah, I'll probably be going back to Indiana team totals over. That's been the since Cignetti got to Indiana, just blindly betting their team total over has been an absolute cash cow. So, all right, Steve, we got a couple of games here for you to break down. We got Diamondbacks and Red Sox. We got White Sox and Cubs here. I believe Red Sox bullpen game-ish, but I'll have you break down these two and tell everyone about is it called Market Call? Is that your new show?
Yeah, it's going to be Thursday nights before the NFL game kicks off. We're going to do Market Call live, and it's a interactive call with me, very similar to the Steam Room that Gianni does, and it's going to be an interactive call for clients only. Obviously, we'll look at the Thursday night prime game because we hit over 70% the last 2 years in all the Thursday night games. But more importantly, it'll be a deep dive look into the weekend's card coming up in advance. So before my NFL Fade the Public video is out, you get my public insider info about a day and a half sooner. Also going to get access to my 10,000 game simulation for college football, any games you want to talk about. And also another reason I want to do on Thursday nights, a lot of people have asked me for the NFL info sooner because people enter contests. And yes, we will talk contest strategy early in the season on the Survivor contest, and then also those Pick 5 contests that are so popular. It's obviously an inside all access call with me every Thursday night, but it's for insiders only, direct clients only. And you see on your screen, now's the time to get on board. Instant $811 discount. Gets it down to $3 a day, $1 a play for all sports, all access for the next 365 days and nights. Plus, Market Call is included for free. That itself is worth the price of admission, in my opinion. So don't delay. It's on my page right now, Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. And, of course, get there quicker, wt.buzz/SM.
All right, Steve, let's break down these 2 games here. We got Bratt for the Diamondbacks. What do you expect in this game?
So this is an interesting situation with the Red Sox. We talked a lot about them the last month or so when they're on that monumental run. Everyone thought maybe they would cool off during the All-Star break with all that momentum, and nope, they came right out, continued to win, set a franchise record, over a 100-year franchise record. They tied it by winning 15 straight, and then the second half of the doubleheader that day, they decided to lose to the Orioles. I guess they had the letdown, but then they kept winning again after that. They won like 8 out of 10 right after that. And 2 Saturdays ago, I was on Last Call with Joe Ranieri, and we were talking about how red hot they were. And I mentioned how the Athletics that Saturday actually fit my underdog system that I developed over 30 years ago, but it was hard to trust them in like plus 250 against the red hot Sox, who, by the way, were 27-5 at that point. Well, lo and behold, the Athletics won both Saturday and Sunday that weekend as huge dogs. The Red Sox have now dropped 7 of their last 9 games after winning 27 out of 32. And this is what we talk about. Don't fade hot teams. Don't try to catch the falling knife with cold teams, but start looking for that bottoming out process. And I think we're seeing that now with the Red Sox. And it's hard to imagine they care too much about this game today because they're starting Alec Gamboa for the first time ever. This is a guy that's appeared in 9 games this year out of the bullpen with 1 save for the Red Sox. He's got a solid 1.59 ERA, but once again, that's not been in the starter role. And I'm not sure he's the real deal. He was drafted way back in 2019 in the 9th round by the LA Dodgers. And he's making now, I believe, his first MLB start 7 years later. In the MLB, or in the minor leagues, in the MILB, if you will, he had 148 games. 99 of them were out of the bullpen. 49 were starts. Very mediocre 4.2 ERA in his career and a 1.3 whip. However, both of these offenses are ice cold, and it is often the case when a team starts struggling like the Red Sox. It shows on the offensive side, and that's been the case. I referenced those 2 losses they had to Oakland a few weeks ago. Sacramento, the Athletics, pardon. 3 runs in each of those losses. And in fact, this 2-7 slide, their last 9, they have scored 4 runs or less in 8 of those 9 games. Diamondbacks, when they're away from their hitter-friendly home ballpark, aren't as strong offensively. Yes, they put up 10 runs on Saturday at Atlanta, but they only scored 3 and 2 runs on Friday and Sunday. and they've also now scored 4 runs or less in 4 of their last 5. Nothing special on the mound tonight either with Mitch Bratt, but he's had a solid 3.7 ERA. So, yeah, it might be a bullpen game, but that also makes it difficult for the opposing lineups to get any really like preparedness, know who's coming in. They're not going to see the pitcher 2 or 3 times, which is a huge edge for hitters in the MLB. I actually like the under here in this game. I think both pitching staffs, and I say staffs, not starters, will have the edge tonight. And we actually get some value under 9 in this one. 9 minus under 120. And 9 is a very key number, of course. 7 and 9 are the key numbers with totals. And I think because there's no named pitchers on the mound tonight, this line's a little higher than it should be. Take a look at under 9, Red Sox Diamondbacks, 7:10 Eastern tonight on Monday.
We're moving on to the Battle of Chicago, the White Sox and the Cubs. We got Castillo for White Sox. Cubs red hot. Now all of a sudden they've lost 3 out of 4, just because that's baseball. Like just trying to figure these teams out, man, is crazy. What do you expect from the battle of the Chicago teams?
Yeah, Battle of Chicago should be a good fun series here. And this, of course, is in Wrigley. And, we always joke that weathermen only have to be right 50% of the time. And sports handicappers only have to be right 52% of the time to make money long term. 52.4 to be exact at minus 110 juice. So you got to do a little bit better than weathermen. But you don't have to be a weatherman to know where the wind's blowing when you look at Chicago Cub games. All you got to do is look at the total. And this one is priced at 8. The over-under is 8. So right away, the wind's blowing in. Of course, I confirm. Trust but verify, and I did that. Current weather report has the wind blowing in 10 miles an hour from center field. So this will not be a hitter-friendly Wrigley Field tonight, and that's why it's a low total at 8. Cubbies $1.60 favored here, which on the surface might be a little too pricey because, as you said, this Cubs team has lost 3 of their last 4, and this is often the case once again, offensive momentum. They've scored 4 runs or less in each of those last 4 games. In fact, they were shut out in one of them. And their win, they actually scored only 3 runs against St. Louis on Friday before dropping both weekend games. Meanwhile, the White Sox in here in excellent current form. 3-game sweep against the Tigers. Not WagerTalk's home office, Detroit Tigers. They were sellers at the trade deadline. But still a decent team. The White Sox went in and swept them. And they had some nice run scoring. 20 runs scored in those games. And, of course, the 2 games before that against Cincinnati, they put up 13 runs. In fact, if you look over the last 10 games, yes, the White Sox have been just 6-4 straight up, but they've been scoring some runs. In fact, they have 5 runs or more, I think, in 7 or 8 of the last 10. They've scored 4 runs or more in 9 of the last 10 games. And we get them as a plus $1.50 underdog. Live dog alert here with the White Sox. And I think they will be motivated against their crosstown big brother in the Cubbies here, this crosstown series. And if you want to take them at plus 145, plus 150, go for it. You can also take them on the run line plus 1.5, minus 150. Obviously, normally in Wrigley, when the wind's blowing out, the run line's not as valuable. But with a low total like 8 tonight, this does have the probability of being a close game. But you can also make a plus 1 run and get it at even money, or maybe like minus 105, minus 110. That might be the best approach, plus 1 run line. And, of course, if you don't have access to a plus 1 run line, you can always create your own. The great late Dave Koken pointed this out years ago on the baseball show. I always thought it was a great point. You take the White Sox with half the unit on plus 150, plus 145, half the unit on plus 1.5, minus 150, and that gets you right around that even money, minus 105 on a hybrid plus 1 run line. So I think the White Sox are a live dog here. And as far as the starting pitching goes, by the way, Castillo's on the mound. He's been mediocre this year. Imanaga. It's all Oz. Shota Imanaga. I can never say his name. Solid season, 3.7, 2.3 his last 7. But once again, I think the offensive momentum is on the side of the White Sox, and they're in bed current form. So a live dog tonight with that Chicago team. And this game, by the way, is at 8:05 Eastern.
Yeah, it's crazy. Cubs went from a bet on to a bet against like overnight.
It's just like the Red Sox, right? I mean, it's exactly. It was 2 fun games to talk about for that reason because baseball 162 games, right? So every game is like almost 0.75% of a season every game. On Saturday and Sunday we had 30 baseball games at least. Maybe we had a doubleheader that I missed. That's 30 baseball games is like over 2 NFL weeks, right? In just 2 days. And in 10 days, you've got a full NFL season of baseball. I mean, it's really crazy when you start doing the math. It's twice as much as the NBA and it's the NHL and the NBA seasons combined is a baseball season. So, you really have to pay attention to momentum and current form and, the zigs and the zags.
Yeah, it's wild. Baseball season. Baseball season is almost as bad as NASCAR. You know, NASCAR ends in November.
You know, NASCAR was in Richmond this week, and I didn't even know till like the night of the race, Andy. I'm so distanced from NASCAR, and I was explaining it to my son. I thought of you actually as I was having this conversation. Like, you and I stuck with it a lot longer than most, but a lot of my diehard fans 10 years ago dropped off. And he was asking about the Richmond race. I took him when he was 6. He doesn't remember, and he was telling his buddy went Friday to the truck race or Saturday whenever they had it. And was talking about the scanners. I was like, man, you love the scanner. You don't even remember. That's why you actually wanted to go back when you were 6. It is. He goes, it seems like it'd get kind of boring. I was like, it does. And I go, to be honest, Richmond is more boring than ever because there's no crashes anymore. And he's like, yeah, those look fun. I was like, well, I never rooted for crashes because I really liked the intricacies of the racing. But what it's funny, Andy, as I was having this conversation, it occurred to me, the nice thing about the crashes wasn't the excitement, it's the cautions. Because cautions is what makes the races, right? Because you had the restarts, first of all, which people can pass each other, strategy. The pit stops are awesome, especially with the scanners. And the restarts are cool too, green, 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 go, go, go. And I realized that's what was lacking the last few years. And it all became the car of tomorrow 10 years ago when they all went to the generic car of tomorrow, the COT. And the manufacturers mattered less. And I remember I went to a race, one of the last ones I went to in Richmond before COVID. And I don't think there was a caution the entire 400 laps. And it was the fastest race ever. I'd always go take a cheesesteak break at lap 300, because it gets a little dull. I mean, it's like 20 minutes later, they're like 20 to go. And nobody made a pass in the final 50 laps on a short track. It was just miserable. So I understand now why I'm starting to fade away from NASCAR. Others have. And that's always been why I wasn't a huge fan of Formula One and the Indy, just because it's open wheel. There's no bumping. There's not as much passing. There's no cautions. But yeah, crashes are exciting. But cautions are what make the races exciting for true fans, and that's what's kind of lacking in a lot of these tracks, as with the cookie cutter ovals that we talked a lot about back in the day.
Yeah, the new cars, they're tough to. It's just tough to pass. It's just on green flags, it's just really, really hard to pass. So, what do you have up for everybody at Wager Talk?
So there's 11 baseball games tonight on Monday, and I'm a low volume guy. I'm very selective, but I've actually got over half the games covered. And here's how: I've got 2 best bets. 2 different games we didn't talk about. I just gave you 2 free plays in the Sox game. I've also got 2 strong client best bets for Monday night. I made a 2-for-1 special. It's buy one, get the second one for just $4. $5 Tuesday -1. Oh, he's upside down. $4 for the extra play. And then I have a bonus free play in the Dodgers and Rockies game. So that's 5 of the 9 baseball games covered. Just gave you 2 free here. Got the Dodgers Rockies up free for everyone, which is just a bit outside from being a best bet. And then 2 strong client best bets with a 2-for-1 special tonight. Check it out, or get the buy 3, get 3s. Get the rest of the year for the 47% discount, or, of course, the 1-year all access for about $1 a play with market call included. All is available on my page, Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, and get there quicker. Shortcut, wt.buzz/SM.
Awesome stuff. Steve Merril on a Monday. Appreciate your breakdown, Steve. Have a good day, brother.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. All right. Let's break down our first NFL future of the week. It's Quarterback Monday. We're going to go with Drake May over under 3,799.5 yards passing. Dan, I'll go first here. 2024, he played in 13 games, had 2,276. Last year, he played all 17 games, 4,394. Flew over this total. He ended up with 527 attempts, 350 completions. Leading the league in completion percentage and yards per attempt is just really, really impressive. That was a real feather in his cap last year. The Patriots passed for 4,459 yards. They rushed for 2,191 last year. They add A.J. Brown. They have Romeo Doubs, Demario Douglas, if that matters, Hunter Henry. They did draft some O-linemen. The offensive line has got to be the biggest concern on that team, along with the tough schedule. I actually think the tough schedule may help this prop. I think they're going to be in more passing situations in the second half this year than they were last year. I guess Vrabel's we're just gonna forget about everything, and there's gonna be no punishment. I gotta tell you, Dan, I love this over. I love Drake May in fantasy football. I like this over. I think he has another really, really good year, and he does a pretty good job of not taking big hits. He did it the first part, but I think he learned his lesson a little bit later. So I like his over. I think he was hurt in the playoffs, but I think regular season bodes well. What do you think?
Yeah, I think definitely fair. I think you see what he did last year, the eye-popping numbers that he was able to put up. It's funny because you mentioned, hey, I actually think a tougher schedule will allow him to be in closer games where he's passing. A lot of the Drake May success last year, Andy, came in blowouts where it was stat padding. So I know that people are going to hate me saying that, but it's just the absolute truth. They beat up on really bad teams last year, and credit to them. Can only play who's in front of you, and they decimated that competition. But doesn't this make you scratch your head a little bit, Andy? Is a guy who had 4,400 yards last year now gets AJ Brown? Oh my God, that's the signing of the year. AJ Brown is here. We have a number one wide receiver, and this is 700 yards lower than what he was able to amass last year. Or, if you're doing the math, it's obviously less than that. But when I'm just rounding these off, 3,700. So you're looking at 3,799 for him. It's not something that I want to bet under on, Andy, because I do believe that Drake May is a good player. I don't think, the whole Drake the schedule May thing is true, but I will say the majority of those stats did come when they were just able to just beat down on really bad defenses. Now, they get to play the Jets 2 times this year. They still have, it'll be a tougher schedule. It's not, oh my God, they're not going to find any wins on the schedule. I'm not crazy bullish on their team as a whole moving forward. I think regression will come for them, but Drake May is a good player. I'm just being the devil's advocate point to thinking this is an absolute slam dunk over. I'm with you, Andy. I don't want to bet an under on this one, but I'm not this wouldn't be one if you were putting in as a client play, Andy, that I would be betting with my own money. Let's just say that. Over makes sense. He's a good player, but folks, let's not get carried away with, and I think the number is also telling you something, Andy. If it is, why isn't this just 4,000? You know what I mean? So
fair.
Slight lean to the under, but you made a strong case for the over, Andy. But a pass for me.
And that hurts. That hurts me to take an over on a Patriot.
Oh, I know.
That's a tough beat for your boy. So tomorrow we'll go over Mike Evans. We'll talk Kenneth Walker. We'll talk the New York Jets. Give us some suggestions for Friday. It can be a player prop future. Could be a team total. Whatever you guys want. Just leave it in the comment section. So, all right, good show. Thanks to all the guests. Appreciate you guys in the chat. You guys crush it as always. Get ready for $5 Tuesday. My plays will be up tonight, so you'll have a cricket play. There's going to be Dana White Contender Series and an NFL preseason play. That'll be up tonight, starting around 7 or 8 o'clock. So grab those, get those bets in, get the best of the number. Appreciate you guys watching. We'll see everyone tomorrow. Good luck on your bets and take care.